All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. We could be getting ready to say that these are not your father's Chicago Bears for a variety of reasons. Now, when you think about the Bears historically, this has been a running franchise, a very physical franchise, a franchise that is known for their defense and not the forward pass on offense. You think about some of the great offensive players for the Bears, and it's primarily the running backs. You think about Willie Gallimore, Gale Sayers, Walter Payton, Matt Forte, Thomas Jones. The Bears have known a thing or two when it comes to running the football. And then the defense, you think about, greats like Doug Atkins, Mike Singletary, Brian Urlacher, okay, and Dick Butkus, just to name a few. And, that could all change with one stroke of the pen in a couple of weeks at the NFL draft. And I say this because we all know the Bears own the first overall pick in the draft, courtesy of the trade last year with the Carolina Panthers. And all signs do point to Chicago taking a quarterback with that selection. Now, conventional wisdom would lead you to believe that the Bears will be using that pick on USC quarterback Caleb Williams. And if that turns out to be true, Williams would bring with him to Chicago a resume that includes him being the 2022 Heisman Trophy winner. Now, Williams has dynamic playmaking ability at the quarterback position that could potentially change the fortunes of the Bears franchise. And when you think about the Bears historically, you do not think about the forward pass with this organization. Is Jay Cutler is the franchise's all-time leader in passing yards, or just a little bit more than 23,000. And granted, Cutler didn't play his entire career with the Bears. Now, since 1986, the Bears have only had one quarterback selected to the Pro Bowl, and that was Mitchell Trubisky back in 2018. And whether that the Bears are going to use that pick in a couple of weeks on Caleb Williams, maybe Drake May or Jaden Daniels, it all remains to be seen. But whoever it is, because I do believe, and a lot of people as well, do believe that the Bears are taking a quarterback in this draft. He won't be starting his career behind the eight ball. And I say this because typically when you see a young quarterback going to a team first overall, you typically think that team is bad. And Bears, they have not been good, okay, in recent years. You're talking about a Bears team since they last got to the NFC Championship game in 2010. Since then, only two winning seasons. The Bears have not gotten to the postseason since 2020, and their last playoff win came in the divisional round in the 2010 playoffs. But nonetheless, you look at this Bears team. They already picked up wide receiver DJ Moore from the Carolina Panthers last year in that trade that saw them get the first overall pick this year. They acquired veteran wide receiver Keenan Allen from the Los Angeles Chargers to begin this offseason, signing running back DeAndre Swift. You already have tight end Cole Komet in place. So I'm looking at the fortunes of this Bears offense, and they do have the potential to change very quickly. You look at this Bears team, they're going to have the opportunity to load up now. Why? Because whether it's Caleb Williams or whoever else that they take a quarterback, you're going to have that young fella on a rookie deal for a couple of years. And of course, that's going to be the opportunity to load up around him. Just look at what the Houston Texans are doing right now around young CJ Stroud. It's going to be one of those where, the coaching around him. Clearly, Matt Eberflus is back as the head coach of the Bears. But more importantly, I'm looking at the coaches on offense. A couple of former Seahawks assistant coaches, rather, you got quarterbacks coach Kerry Joseph, and of course, offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. These are going to be the important positions around this youngster at quarterback, most likely Caleb Williams. But aside from bringing in a new quarterback, a new face to your franchise, a dome could possibly be on the horizon for the Chicago Bears. Clearly, if the Bears were to have a dome as their home stadium, we really couldn't call them the monsters of the Midway anymore. You think about it, and when you think about the Bears, and when you think about when they're playing well, their defense has a big hand in that, as well as the weather, the elements in the Windy City. Now, there's still a lot of political red tape for the Bears to get through to make that dream a reality, or make their dream a reality as far as getting that stadium. But nonetheless, it is a possibility. But at the end of the day, these next couple of months, they're really going to shape the Chicago Bears franchise for the next decade, or the next several decades. You figure getting a quarterback, possibly. Okay, I'm not going to sit up there and say, well, it's all set in stone that the Bears are getting a new stadium. No, it's a possibility. Okay. But regardless, these moves are definitely going to shape this franchise going forward. The Bears need consistency at the quarterback position. 39 different starting quarterbacks for the Chicago Bears since they traded Jim McMahon in 1988. Okay, so that's not even 39 years, and they've had 39 different starting quarterbacks. So this gives you this gives you like an insider's view as to why the Bears have not been good. You cannot have consistent turnover at the general manager spot, the head coaching position, as well as your starting quarterback. And the Bears have had too much turnover. This is why they don't succeed. So this Chicago Bears brain trust, which includes general manager Ryan Poles, these are very important times for them, because aside from having the first overall pick, they have the ninth overall pick in the NFL draft in a couple of weeks, which is their own pick. And this is an opportunity for the Bears to try to get back into the mix. You went 7-10 last year, and with that additional wild card spot, you have to say to yourself, you know what? Nowadays in the NFL, 9 wins gives us a legit shot to be a postseason team at 9-8. Okay, the Bears were 2 games out of that last postseason spot last year. They saw what the Packers did; their division rivals. They got in as a 7 seed. They won a playoff game. Very Came very close to winning a second one, and we don't know what could have been from there. But if you're the Bears, you finished tied with the Vikings for the last place in this division. The Packers are a young and hungry team that's on the rise. Okay, the Detroit Lions won this division last year. Let's wait and see what they're going to be. The Minnesota Vikings need to get themselves a new quarterback, so it's going to be interesting to see what Minnesota does in this draft as well. But nonetheless, if you're the Chicago Bears, you have to make the most of this opportunity to try to keep up with the Joneses in your division. Okay, more or less anything else. So let's see what the Bears brain trust does. They're definitely going to get themselves a quarterback. That's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're going to give this young man an opportunity to hit the ground running with the talent around him. But let's see if the Bears are able to put it all together in order to be a playoff team here in 2024. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank all of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.